Welcome everyone to today's hearing.
You've tuned in to Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. Facebook could potentially owe up to $18,000 in compensation for every user affected, for every victim affected by the Cambridge Analytica data scandal, lawyers say. Millions of Facebook users reportedly have had their social media information harvested after completing a personal survey created by Cambridge University academic Alexander Kogan, who later sold the data to Cambridge Analytica. The social media giant began informing people earlier this week that around 87 million people worldwide, including more than 1 million in the UK and untold millions in the US, whose personal information was used by the political consulting company. So we've got members of our staff that have been affected by the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and they're all like, show me the money. $18,000 per user is what this data has been valued at by data brokers, and so that's quite a bit of money. And if you multiply $18,000 for the 87 million users, that puts the bill at over $1.5 trillion. That would be enough to wipe out Facebook completely. And this is probably why Zuckerberg actually, showed his face at Congress. He's hoping to get a discount. $1.5 trillion might be a little much, but this is the value of the data that was stolen, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just one app. Zuckerberg came on the record saying that everybody should expect to have their data compromised, because the feature was on by default. Just like the face recognition, just like everything else, it's on by default. Now, you may not care that they took your privacy away from you, but you may care that you might be entitled to $18,000 if you were affected by the breach. And even if you weren't affected by the breach, you're probably affected by some breach, which means that you're probably entitled to some sort of money. So right now there's just a ton of class action lawsuits being filed, whether it be for privacy, whether it be for censorship, or things like that. I mean, people's messages were read by staff at Facebook, their videos from their phone, their photos, their contacts. All of their data was basically raped. They call it scraped, but it's really raped. Forget the SC, it's just raped. They raped people. And we're looking at $18,000 per user. Could you use that $18,000? Should Facebook pay you for having sold your information or targeted you with ads, based on that information? If you've got a weakness out there, they more than likely targeted you with some sort of, ad that corresponded to your weakness. It might have been gambling, alcohol, something like that. But in any case, right now lawyers are saying that users are entitled to $18,000 in the wake of this massive data breach that they're calling Cambridge Analytica. But this was, wired into their developer's platform. Any app developer could have taken your information and sold it. And you just kind of have to wonder, why would they let this happen? Well, because these applications that developers were making, like the games and stuff like that, keep people on the Facebook platform for longer. And as they're accumulating points on these games, they're getting messages, they're seeing likes, so it's kind of like the casino. You're getting these points on top of the game and everything else. You're getting points in Facebook. Look, you got a new friend. Look, you got a message. Look, you got a notification. So they let these apps take all of your data in exchange for keeping you on Facebook longer, so that they could target you with more ads. So you might not care about your privacy, but maybe you'll care about that $18,000. Could you use $18,000 right now? if you could, you might want to get in touch with these lawyers that are filing class action lawsuits. And you can find a summary of all the suits at Yahoo Finance. Go to Yahoo Finance, just enter FB in the little search bar there. It'll bring you to Facebook, and you'll have all of the news, that concerns Facebook, including the class action lawsuits, and the lawyers leave phone numbers for you to call. They want you to call. They want you to get paid. I mean, they're ambulance chasers. They need customers, and you need to get paid. So everybody should jump on the bandwagon here and sue the shit out of Facebook. Get your money and put Facebook out of business. And even if you only get a portion of that, it's still better than nothing. Free money, folks. Right now, Facebook is offering free money for having raped your information. We're going to be bringing in Danny Ray from Righteous Defiance, see if she can use any of that money. $18,000. I'm sure everybody could use an extra $18,000. I mean, Facebook must have made more than that per user. We got Danny Ray from Righteous Defiance live on Stranger Than Fiction News. Show me the money, Danny Ray. Show me the money.
Hi. Show me the money.
That's right, $18,000. Could you use that? Could you put that to good use?
Everybody could use that. Heck yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have to live paycheck to paycheck. That would be swell. Let's see the money.
And just
I'm not going to anything, but
just
I'd like to see it.
Just for the record, you were affected by the Cambridge Analytica breach? That you received a notification?
Yes, I got a notification that said that my information or my data was compromised by the leaks, and not because I had downloaded the application, but because one of my friends did. It was very generic, of course, and it went through how you can change all of your settings if you don't want this to be an issue for any other future references, and then asked me if it was helpful, and I said no, because it's not helpful at all. Because even if you do go through it, they already have everything that they need, Yeah,
well, it's funny. It's funny that they didn't offer you any compensation right then and there. I think they're trying to get off on the cheap and just be like, look, you've been affected. This is how you cannot get scraped, in the future. But it looks like right now class action lawsuits are forming, and we're going to try and get the information for people in the U.S. so that they can actually call and get paid, because everybody should get paid. Facebook has made billions and billions of dollars off of this. I think it's like $40 billion a quarter or something like that. So everybody deserves a little compensation here. What do you think, Danny Ray? How much should they pay?
I don't think $18,000 is enough, considering how much money they actually made off of our data and are continuing to make off of our data. I mean, how many people out there have all of these spam text messages and all of this spam mail that that it didn't come from you, but people have hacked into your personal email and sent certain dietary supplements to everybody on your friends list and everything else. Like, that kind of stuff is annoying, and you have to go through and change your password, and it's all just time consuming, and it's all because of this platform taking your data and selling it to the highest bidder. Well, and that's all it boiled to.
Excuse me. They say the 18,000 is the value of the data that has been stolen from each user, but that doesn't count the mental anguish. I mean, all of us have suffered mental anguish because of Facebook. Either their Facebook prison or their censorship or their shadow banning and the like. And that hasn't been really calculated to the bill as far as we can tell. So I mean, they could be facing trillions and trillions of dollars worth of fines here in class action civil suits, not necessarily from like the Federal Trade Commission or something like that, but in fact from class action lawsuits. And that's where people can make a little extra cash here. Is jumping on this bandwagon to sue Facebook, and the more people that jump on the class action lawsuit, the more they have to pay. So if people just kind of accept the notifications like, oh well, Facebook is sorry, here's how you can avoid being raped again, then they're more than likely not going to pursue a civil case. But I think everybody that received one of these notifications from Facebook that, yeah, your data was compromised, I think you're entitled to some sort of compensation. And, there's already lawyers that are at work, and I don't think it really costs you anything to be added to the list. You just have to contact them. So it's like a real easy way to participate in the civil suit. And so we're going to try and get more information on that as far as who to contact in your area. But there's multiple class action lawsuits right now that are happening, and there's usually about a month to get on the list. So we're going to try and get that information for people. But what about the mental anguish? What do you think?
They should just go ahead. I mean, since they have everybody's information anyway, they should just go ahead and send out the notice so that everybody can get on board with all of these things. I mean, they know where everybody's at, don't they? That's
they won't
the
help
way that
you.
it works
they
out.
won't help you. They're never there to help you. They're there to screw you. So you're going to have to help yourself in this situation to get paid. But I mean, this is picked up right off of Fox News. So this isn't like some, dark web news article. This is on Fox News right now, that the value of the data is about $18,000 for everyone that was affected. And so you should jump on board. I mean, this is $18,000 in free money. And I'll tell you what, even if you weren't affected, I'm pretty sure that somehow your data was compromised, and it'd still be worth looking into. And of course, the estimates are varying between 14,000 and 17,700 per user, but approximately 18,000 is potentially what you could get if you jump on board this class action lawsuit. And the more people that are on board, the more they have to pay. But if you're not on board, then you don't get paid. So this is the time to be talking about this. Once the paperwork is done, then you either have to jump on a new class action lawsuit or start one yourself. So this is the time to be looking into this. How can we join this class action lawsuit? And you never know where it'll go. You never know where it'll go. So instead of buying a lottery ticket, why don't you give the lawyers a call that are in charge of this class action lawsuit, and get paid, ladies and gentlemen. Make them feel
show me the money.
Show me the money, ladies and gentlemen. That way you can afford to buy a Zuckerberg for Prison shirt. They're $23.99 for small, medium, large, and X large. And I think if you go double X or triple X, then it's $24.99. And that's what it's listed on the Facebook page, is $24.99 as the max price. But for most people, it's $23.99, and it'll help kind of get the word out. And in any case, I mean, Facebook must be stopped. They're still censoring free speech, and they're gonna use this platform as a way to kind of win the midterm elections, and basically move forward with their plans to impeach our president, which I don't think is in anybody's interest. And either we stop Facebook, or they're going to stop our movement. And so go get a Facebook or a Zuckerberg for Prison shirt while they're still in stock. I think we're going to be unloading new colors today. I think we'll unload the blue and white, like in the Facebook colors. So if you want to get a blue and white Zuckerberg for Prison, that'll be available later today. And we should be unleashing Hillary for Prison shirts pretty soon as well. But that's the kind of thing that people should be getting, because it can't be censored. They can't censor you wearing your T-shirt unless you're in some sort of fascist school or something like that, where they're like, take your shirt off. We've been seeing reports like that. But for the most part, you can go to the shopping mall, the restaurant, the club, and all that stuff, wear your shirt, and make new friends. They'll see it and they'll be like, yeah, man, Zuckerberg sucks. And then you can start branching off from there and planting seeds. But in any case, if you're like a lot of people out there going paycheck to paycheck, then go get paid by Facebook. Go get your $18,000 from Facebook, and then go buy a Zuckerberg for Prison shirt while supplies last. In any case, what else can we talk about? I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the Facebook front. I mean, you've probably seen some of our previous videos. Yesterday we put out a pretty groundbreaking report on the facial recognition aspect. Like in your private data that you can download from Facebook, they've got your facial recognition data that has been suspected to be sold off to third parties, surveillance companies. And we talked about that yesterday. If you didn't see that show, be sure to check it out. Every day we're going to do like a mini show on Zuckerberg. So I mean, just deal with it. Just deal with it.
Yeah, don't forget too that he decided that he was going to team up with the medical system here and make sure to put everybody on the list of who doesn't have Obamacare and who needs Obamacare and who's sitting around and not doing anything except for scrolling through Facebook all day. And they're joining your medical data along with your social media data. And I mean, really, what other reason would he need it besides his team up with Obama with that Obamacare crap?
Well,
right?
the insurance companies, they want to sell that information to the insurance companies to basically to raise your rates. So if the insurance companies can find out that you're sitting all day playing on Facebook or whatever, they're going to use that information against you because they know that you have that that lazy lifestyle, and that you're more than likely to be affected by that. And of course, everybody should be aware of the studies that say sitting 8 hours a day is terrible for you. So everybody should get around or go out and get some fresh air and move around a little bit, not just stay glued to your chair or to your phone. I mean, everybody's seen the recent studies of the dangers of cell phones, re-released. And it's all bad for you, folks. I mean, there's nothing that replaces fresh air and time outside, and so go out and do that as much as you can. And that's some of the stuff that we've been covering. Obviously, you should be aware that they grabbed everything off of your phone, the Messenger app, the Instagram, WhatsApp applications basically are Trojans to suck information right off of your phone and into their massive database. And of course, they're selling it.
And so many people have their phones connected to their computers anymore. You can have that Bluetooth option where whatever you have on your phone and your computer, or if you've accessed Facebook from your computer, they have everything that they would ever need, and things that you wouldn't even think that they grabbed, but they did. They scraped it all, every single bit of it. And your contacts, your emails, all of it.
Absolutely, and all of these apps that people have been playing with, all of that information gets sold downstream to think tanks, to political action committees, as well as government agencies, who use that information to build profiles on people. And this has come out. We've done reports on that. The extent of the damage that Facebook and Zuckerberg has caused is immeasurable. Not only in terms of the data breach and the privacy, but also the effect that it's had on people. People are becoming like digital junkies, glued to their phones and the like, instead of living a real life. And there are advantages of being able to connect with people around the world that you normally wouldn't have been able to connect with. But I think it's become an obsession. I mean, when you see people that out at the restaurant these days, or at the club, I mean, or even outdoors, I mean, they're glued to their phone. They just can't get enough of it, and it's basically like setting them up to merge with the machine. Having the phone in your hand isn't going to be enough. They're gonna want to put it in their brain, and that's coming, folks. I mean, that's kind of like the dangers of this technology and of these social media platforms. And all these tech companies are basically stating that if you're going to want to keep up with the technology of tomorrow, you're going to have to merge with the technology, assimilation. And that's what these people are planning for you. And it reminds me of the little speech that Zuckerberg gave, where he's like, "I used to be human." That's another thing that we talked about recently.
I am human. I am human. I am human.
We play a little clip of that. Maybe we can reboot that so that you can hear the beginning where he does the Freudian slip. I used to be human.
Of course you would be upset because you're human, and I used to be human too. I mean, I am human.
Yeah, let's listen to this here. Maybe hold on a second. We almost got it. Let's see. Here we go.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human. I am human.
So it is going to bother you because you're human. I used to be human. Quote unquote Zuckerberg. I mean, come on, folks. There's something wrong here. Go get paid. Go get your $18,000 from Zuckerberg. Keep this stuff trending. Keep talking about Zuckerberg and Facebook every day. Don't let it just slide away like it's no big deal, that what he did was no big deal, that he can continue on basically censoring people and taking their private information like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. and it's worth something. And you can make a little money here just getting what you deserve from Zuckerberg. If you don't get the money, if you don't spend his money, he's going to spend his money on on another ranch, or another Facebook campus, or another 20,000 employees that will be able to censor even more people. So we got to put this guy out of business. And we were well on our way, but it seems like the weekend after this hearing, people were just like, oh well, it's over. There's nothing else to say. It's not over. It's not over. They owe you money. They owe you $18,000 per person. Get informed. Go find out, because these class action lawsuits are happening in the States as well. It's not just in the UK. It's not just in the European Union. And that's the first articles that you'll see on it. But there are class action lawsuits happening in California right now. You just got to call the lawyer and get on the list. And I don't think it costs anything to get you added on the list. But that's something that you'll have to verify with them. In any case, potential $18,000 payday for every user affected by this Facebook breach. And on top of that, you have the pleasure of sticking it to Zuckerberg, who has basically scraped and raped your private information.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human.
I was human, says Zuckerberg. Anything else you want to say in closing, Danny Ray?
Nope, just show me the money.
Show me the money.
It's right coming down the lane. Let's go.
Well, you got to sign up. It's not going to happen all by itself. I mean, if you don't do anything, one day it's going to come out like class action lawsuit. Facebook must pay, $500 billion, and you're not on that list. That's so don't miss the train. Get on that money train. Go get paid. Go get your money. Zuckerberg owes you $18,000 per person that was affected just for the Cambridge stuff. But you know that everybody's been affected by this stuff, and the more pressure we put on, the more apps we're going to find out that have been raping your data, and the more likely you'll be able to qualify for one of these payouts. So keep putting pressure on Facebook. Go get yourself a Zuckerberg for prison shirt. Keep it in the in the minds of everybody, and it'll make a difference, folks. It'll make a difference. Until the next time, the next broadcast, probably in an hour, we'll be covering the latest on Syria. It looks like everybody's talking about how it looks fake. Even Tucker Carlson on Fox last night. We'll be covering that and much more in the next broadcast. Next one, say in about an hour. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, Danny Ray,
You are the resistance.